So on Tuesday, you all sort of went over Aras Innovator and learned a little bit about the Aras interface, as well as got your account set up. And so this is pretty nice. We can see all the parts on here. You can, if you want to look at, for example, the arena, you could search it up. And you could find the entire assembly for the arena with its 100 different components in its bill of materials structure. And that's nice, but it's also a little, tedious, right? If you wanted to look at the entire arena, you'd have to download all these different parts, and there's a lot of parts. And it doesn't really make sense when you're building, complex robots with other people to have to manually download and upload everything. So today we're going to learn a little bit about the Aras Innovator connector. What is the connector? It's basically a plugin for SolidWorks that allows you to retrieve parts from Aras and then upload them directly in SolidWorks. So you don't have to access the Aras Innovator client. You do it all through SolidWorks. A couple notes about using the connector. When you're using the connector and when you're trying to access the Aras website, you must be on a Purdue Wi-Fi network, academic Wi-Fi network to do it. So if you're in this building, any building on campus like Walk, you'll be able to access stuff. If you're in a dorm or you're off campus, you will not be able to access the Aras Innovator website, or you will not be able to load the connector unless, and you guys should all install this, unless you install the Purdue VPN. And you want to find the VPN link that's right here. It's bolded. You go through all these instructions, install the VPN, and then you'll have to log into the VPN to access Aras when you're not on campus. So make sure to do that. It'll help you out a lot. I'm on campus, so I don't need to do any, I don't really need to do any logging in. So I can just use the connector directly through SolidWorks. And I'm going to start off first by showing you how to retrieve a part. Then we're going to upload a part. Then we're going to upload a robot assembly. And by then you should know pretty much everything you need to know to get your robots on Aras and collaborate with your team through Aras. So you just open up SolidWorks. First thing you're going to want to do if you want to retrieve a part, for example, is go to Tools, PLM, Retrieve, and you're going to log in. You should have all reset your passwords last meeting. If you haven't yet, I don't think you'll be able to access anything on Aras until you reset your passwords, so make sure to reset your passwords. And now I can find a part on here and I can retrieve it. So let's start off with, let's just do the Malinky Nano. So the Malinky Nano is a standard part. All of your robots are going to have it. You can search Malinky. Remember, Aras' search system is not like Google. It's not very smart. So if I want to find the Malinky, I have to add an asterisk to the end. Oh, okay. Well, you're going to have to add an asterisk to the end so that it can search for characters after the word Malinky. And you can see we have two different models for the Malinkys. I'm just going to select the green one. Almost all of you are going to use the standard green one. And I click View Hierarchy. When I click that, it shows me this other pop-up page. Then I press Retrieve. And as you can see, I now have the Malinky open on my computer. One thing you'll want to take note of, up here it says Read Only. What that means is I just downloaded the part from Aras and I'm viewing it, but I cannot make any changes to it, and I can't really modify it because I haven't checked it out. So I need to tell Aras, I need to tell the server that I'm working on this part so that no one else can modify it. And to do that, we would lock and unlock the part. I'll get into that a little bit later. But that's how you would retrieve a single part. I'll quickly also do a demo of retrieving a full assembly. So this is something I'm going to recommend you guys probably all do, actually, is my robot, that plastic antler robot that I've been working on for a while, is fully uploaded on Aras. And it'll be really helpful if you search up for it and download it and view it when you're doing design stuff, because I think there's a lot of design ideas and principles that you can learn from. So you want to find it. We talked about the 4-letter codes on Tuesday. You search up your 4-letter code, asterisk, and you'll see the TLA, which stands for top level assembly, over here. I'll press View Hierarchy. It's going to load. And then I'm going to press Retrieve. And as you can see, it just downloaded the entire assembly. Actually, I already had it downloaded, so it didn't do any downloading. But if you were to do this, it would take a minute to download the entire assembly. And now it's got the entire assembly in read-only mode. And you can, look through it look at how am I mounting my, you can open up the parts in the assembly and look at how I'm mounting my wheels, stuff like that. So it'll be really helpful for you. Try that out. One thing about retrieving parts, if you upload a part, through the website, through the web interface like you learned on Tuesday, you will not be able to retrieve that through Aras directly. You need to go into the part and modify some settings to do that. And I'm not going to go over that. But if you come up at some point, you have a part that you uploaded on the website and you can't retrieve it through Aras, there's an issue with it, or if any of the standard parts, you're not able to retrieve them through Aras, let me know and I'll help you work through that, fix that problem. So next thing we're going to do is look at how do you create a part and upload it to Aras. And so I've already got a part I created, so we'll start with that. So I've got this assembly of this wonderful robot that I'm working on. It's going to do amazing. And let's say I want to upload the chassis to Aras. So on Tuesday we learned, to do that on the website, we would go to Design, Parts, create a new part, fill everything out, create a CAD document, fill everything out, and then link them. It's a little complex. In Aras, we would you either go up to Tools, PLM, and Register, or up here you should now also have a PLM bar. You'll go here and press Register. So the first time you're uploading a part to Aras, if you haven't already uploaded it, you need to register it. After that, you will store it, and I'll go over that in a second. But first, we're going to register this part. And when I register it, I get this little page full of information I need to fill out. And this is actually very, very simple to the create a new part page that we have on Aras. So first thing I'm going to do is generate a part number, clicking up here. And now we can see it just filled out this field with a part number. That's how Aras tracks all its parts and references them through that number. After I do that, we go into assigned team, double click. We're going to search for Railside Robotics. You can see Railside Robotics here. We're going to select it. We're going to go into designated user, select that again. So both assigned team and designated user should be Railside Robotics. If they're not, other people within Railside, your teammates and I, will not be able to access this part. Description, these are not required, but they're good practice. So, this is just robot chassis. Robot plastic chassis. Make or buy. So this will tell you whether this part is being bought, purchased from somewhere, or made. Since this is a chassis part that we're 3D printing, we're just going to select make. If it was like a screw, you're not making screws, you'd select buy. Name. We went over the naming convention on Tuesday. Let me actually pull that up real quick again, though. Should be right here. And so naming convention, 4-letter code, and then we're going to say assembly of part, assembly ID, part ID, name. And we have the list of all the assembly IDs for stuff here. This part is kind of like, it's a frame piece. So we go with 02 for the assembly header, and then we can just say 01 for the chassis. You can see I already named this part on my computer. We're going to copy this name over here. So my 4-letter code is test. Your 4-letter code will be different. Please do not copy some other team's code, because then now your parts are going to be on Aras, and they're going to think it's their team, and it's going to get confusing. This is a part, not assembly, so we do P-02 for indicating it's a chassis piece. 01 is just the part ID. So within your assembly, you might have, or within one assembly, for example, within the chassis, you might have 5 different parts making up that. You'll, in the first one, 01, the next one, 2, and so on. And then we just have a part name, so just chassis. So that's the naming convention we want you guys to use. This is really important. It helps keep Aras nice and organized, because think about it, there's like 14, 15 teams building robots this semester. If every single part was named robot chassis, it would get really confusing and really hard to find your parts. So you must follow this naming convention for your parts. Next, we're going to go to component and select a component company part. And then unit, this doesn't really matter that much. It can be inches, millimeters. And you might remember all of this information is the same information you would fill out if you were creating a part here. So we just did the exact same thing, but we did it in Aras. After you do all this, we next need to give this is a part document. We also need to fill out metadata for the CAD document. And to do that, we go down to CAD documents. We press, we click over this. And, okay, all of this information is filled out because I've uploaded this to Aras before. But if it's your first time uploading a CAD file to Aras, you'd have to go in and select authoring tool SolidWorks. I can't even modify it because it's locked. But you'd have to set your assigned creator to Railside, authoring tool SolidWorks, designated user Railside. Same name as the part file, same naming convention. And then your parts are not standard parts, they're custom to your team. So you'd select no for standard part. And then you'll also have to modify the part type. I'll probably create another part and go over that. But yeah, now we press register and it's going to upload the part. Right now it just created a part document on Aras. And this is saying it's not locked because it was on Aras. So we're just going to say OK, and it's going to go ahead and upload the part. Now we hit store, and it actually uploads the actual CAD file to Aras. And we want to confirm that just worked. We can go to Aras, go to parts, and search for the part I just created. So as you can see, there's one part with the name I just created, and it's got the CAD document that the CAD 3D viewer file. Okay, it's crashing. Usually won't appear immediately, so don't do what I just did. It takes a minute or two to generate the 3D file. And yeah, just wonderful. But yeah, that's how you would find that part file. But yeah, everything else that we just created, the part file and the CAD document, are now in Aras. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show how would I upload the rest of this assembly. To do that, I need to also, before I can upload this assembly, I need to upload all the parts in the assembly to Aras. So there's two parts, there's this chassis, and then there's these wheels. I'm going to quickly upload the wheel part again, doing everything I just said. So we're going to register, assign a part number, Railside, and then you can double click stuff to go through it faster. Make, the name's already there, test, P because it's a part, O3 for drive, and then the CAD document. Yeah, I've uploaded this part before, so all this metadata is already filled out, but if it weren't filled out, then you'd have to fill it out yourself. We're going to hit register, registers, and then restore it. And now it's on Aras. Now let's say we want to upload this assembly to Aras. And I've already got the assembly, so I could directly hit register and upload it. But I'm going to show you how to create an assembly actually with parts that are on Aras and then upload the entire assembly. So first I'm going to open up a new assembly document. And since I uploaded these parts to Aras, they no longer actually exist on my computer. They are only on Aras. So to insert them, I would go to PLM, insert, and find those parts I just created. And, oh yeah, I've uploaded I don't think I deleted the CAD document for this either, actually, so it already exists on Aras, but I'm going to go and delete that really quick. Don't delete parts. The whole purpose of Aras, the whole reason we use it, and I can't delete it, okay. The whole reason we use Aras is, you know, it saves each version of your part, so even if you're no longer using the part, you might come back to it later, you might make a change and realize, this change sucked, I want to go back. You can roll back to that version later. So if you're done with something, don't delete it. I do that because I manage the server and I know what I'm doing when I'm deleting parts. But if you delete parts, they can't come back, right? So, and we have unlimited, well, probably not unlimited, I don't know what the limits are. Don't upload like a 30 terabyte folder. But yeah, don't delete parts because Aras saves the versions. And what was I doing? Yeah, so we're going to insert the two parts. You can insert them one at a time, or I can hold shift to select both of them, select them. That's great. And okay, I think I forgot to delete these CAD files earlier, and now they are being a little problematic. So I'm just going to create new files and upload them really quick. Just imagine this is a very well designed robot chassis that I'm about to upload. You know, this is my chassis. When you save it to your computer, it doesn't matter really what name you save it as, because when you upload it to Aras, Aras will rename the part. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and register one more part and store it one more time. And then this is what doing the CAD, filling out the CAD document metadata looks like. So yeah, the name is the same, and then it should not be a standard part, and then it should be a mechanical part pretty much when you upload it. And now I can go back to the new assembly I was creating, which doesn't exist anymore, and I can insert that into the assembly. So I search for it with the 4-letter code I gave it. I find my chassis part, and it appears right here. So we got to drag it in just like that. It should appear like that. And now we have this part. I'm also going to show you how to insert one of the standard parts we've created. So all these parts that are right here, almost all of them are on Aras. The ones that aren't on Aras, I will be getting them on Aras soon. But I don't think any of you are using them anyways. But yeah, we want to get the Monkey Nano. This is a requirement for the final CAD, is having all your standard parts in your assembly. So this is how you would insert it. You just select it, drag it in, and then let's constrain it really quick. So we'll just, yeah, made it here, and I'll lock it in place. And now I've completed my assembly. I want to upload it to Aras. So we go hit register. And are you serious? Okay, I'm not going to upload the Monkey Nano because I was trying to fix it earlier today and I bugged out, so I'll fix that later. But yeah, you can see we have this this CAD document, which is this chassis part over here, and then the new assembly I have. The assembly is green, and if we look at the part number column, it doesn't have a column. That's because I just created it. So we're going to generate a part number and then fill out all the same stuff you'd fill out for a part. The only difference is that besides the assembly name, which this is the top level assembly, so it's the everything assembly. We call it a TLA. The only other difference is we changed this part classification to assembly. Unit is inches. Then we need to go back in and do that for the CAD document as well. And we can hit register. Yeah, I don't know why it like hides SolidWorks and reopens it when you register parts and store them. It's kind of weird. And so now it asks me to store the BOM, and so we're just going to hit store here, and it shows me the list of all the parts in the assembly, which is handy because it makes sure, lets you know and ensure that everything is actually going up to Aras. And now that entire assembly is on Aras, we want to retrieve it, same way you would do it for any other part. PLM, hit retrieve, and just search for the assembly. You can double click it, view hierarchy, retrieve. And now I've got the assembly, but you'll notice it says read only. That's because the assembly is locked, or is not locked. So right now, I can view it, but I cannot modify it. In order to modify it, I need to tell Aras, hey, I'm working on this. Don't let anyone else work on it at the same time. So to do that, we would hit the lock button here. The other thing is, if we started to, for example, this file that I just downloaded is also locked. If I tried to modify it, it'll ask me to lock the assembly. So let's say I wanted to make it 2 inches thick. Okay, just automatically unlocked it, or locked it, so that I own the part, no one else can work on it while I'm working on it. I want to upload it, so since I just changed this part, I could store it and then store the entire assembly, and it would get both of those changes up. Or I could just store the assembly, and when I store the assembly, it'll also upload the updated part. The nice thing is, if you don't change a part and it stays the same, it doesn't bother uploading that back up because it has no reason to, it didn't change. But yeah, hit the store button, press store, and then I'm going to have to store the bill of materials as well. And now that's on Aras, we can go look at it, and it should show up when we search for that assembly that I just created. And now it exists, and once it generates the viewable file, we'd be able to view it in Aras or download a PDF of the part and see it. That's it. Any questions? I will be uploading this video, or it will be uploaded soon, so I know that's a lot of steps, a lot of stuff. It's very analogous to what you would do on the website, but this video will be uploaded soon, be on our YouTube channel, so that you can rewatch it and make